If you are looking for the best gaming PC around the new Nvidia RTX 5060 Ti, then you came to the right place. I'll show you the best value 5060 Ti PC, the best one for esports games, the cheapest one, and also a premium build that's ideal if you want to do gaming, content creation, productivity work, and everything in between. Now, the links to these PCs will be down below in the video description with the latest pricing and availability, so I highly recommend you checking those out if you want to see the most updated prices. My name is Valentino. That being said, let's start. With the first one, we have the best value RTX 5060 Ti PC build. This one has a Ryzen 5 9600X processor, which is a great 6-core 12-thread CPU that's going to be ideal to pair with the RTX 5060 Ti. In terms of the level of gaming performance, with the Ryzen 5 9600X, you can expect over 240 plus FPS on average if you want to play games like Valorant, Fortnite, and CS2 at 1440p competitive settings, and if you want to play at 1080p, you can expect over 360 plus FPS, so feel free to go with either a 360Hz 1080p monitor or a 1440p 240Hz one. Now, if you want to play high demanding games instead, high to ultra settings, well, at 1440p you can expect around 80 FPS, and then at 1080p you can expect around 110 FPS on average. Again, this is high to ultra settings in high demanding games in both resolutions. You could also play at 4K if the game is very easy to run, but in my opinion, the 5060 Ti is ideal for either 1440p or 1080p resolution gaming. For the rest of the components, you get 32 gigs of DDR5 memory, which is going to be perfect not only for gaming but also for content creation and productivity work. Then you get an aftermarket CPU cooler with RGB, which is going to be perfect to cool down this Ryzen 5 9600X. Then you get Wi-Fi included, plenty of airflow, a really good power supply, and the total price by the time of filming for this system is right under $1,200 USD. Now, when you're watching this, if you can get the 5060 Ti at its MSRP price, then you might be able to grab this system at around $1,100 USD, but as of right now, by the time of filming, the cheapest 5060 Ti is going for $490. And I'm talking about the 16GB version because I would never recommend you buying the 8GB model, since 8 gigs of RAM in 2025 is just not going to be ideal for any kind of system. Now, if you want a more premium build with a better processor, then I recommend you getting the next system, which is the premium quality RTX 5060 Ti PC. The reason why this one is more premium quality is because you get a Ryzen 9 9900X processor, which is a 12-core CPU that's going to be ideal not only for gaming but also for streaming, content creation, and productivity work. So if you want to do video editing, the fact that you get a 9900X and you also get a 5060 Ti with 16 gigs of RAM, well, that means that this system will be amazing for those tasks. Not only that, but you also get a 360 all-in-one liquid cooler, which is much better quality than the CPU cooler I mentioned before, and you get a more premium quality motherboard with a better feature set. Then you get 32 gigs of RAM again, and you get 2 TB of SSD once again, which is plenty of storage to install programs, games, or move heavy files if you are doing video editing. And last but not least, you get a more premium quality case with more airflow, and then you get a better power supply with more wattage. Now, the total price for the premium build by the time of filming is around $1,400 USD, so it's quite more expensive, and I would only recommend you going with this premium quality build if you are into content creation, productivity work, and more than just gaming, because the Ryzen 5 processor I mentioned before is a much better CPU in terms of value if you want to do just gaming. And if you want to do just gaming but you want faster performance, let's say you want to play games like Fortnite, Valorant, or just any high CPU demanding game, and you want more FPS, then I recommend you getting the next system, which is the best gaming PC around the 5060 Ti, which has the best CPU in the market in the Ryzen 7 9800X 3D. If you want to play those type of games at 1080p resolution or 1440p competitive settings, you can expect very high FPS. So feel free to go with a 1080p 540Hz monitor or a 1440p 480Hz one if you play games like CS2 or Valorant and you want the RTX 5060 Ti. Now, if you go with this system, then you get a different case and a different CPU cooler to make this PC cheaper, and the total price will be around $1,400 $150, but remember, you are getting the fastest performance for gaming around the new Nvidia RTX 5060 Ti. And then on the other hand, if you want the cheapest PC around this graphics card because you just want to have a good gaming performance at 1440p and 1080p resolution with 16 gigs of VRAM, but you do not want to spend over 1200 USD, I completely understand that. For that reason, I'll show you the cheapest one, which has a Ryzen 5 7500F, which as of right now is going for around 130 USD in AliExpress. So by getting this CPU, it makes the whole gaming PC cheaper, and the level of performance is actually very similar compared to the first Ryzen 5 9600X I mentioned in this video. And then to make this PC cheaper, I went with 1TB of SSD instead of 2, but of course you can always upgrade down the line. Now the total price for this system is going to be around $1,000, which is a really fair price considering that you are getting top tier performance at 1080p and 1440p resolution. Now the 5060 Ti in a normal market, I'm talking about the 16GB version, is not a really good deal, but as of right now, considering that the market is very overpriced, you can get this for under 500 USD at the moment, and I do genuinely believe that if you're searching for a 16GB version graphics card that's going to be really good for gaming under 500 USD, this is going to be your best option. Now of course, if you have more money to spend, I would advise you to go with a 5070 Ti or RX 9070 or 9070 XT, but to be fair, as of right now, for around $490, there's no other GPU that's going to compete with the 5060 Ti, just because the pricing for the other GPUs is horrible. All of that to say that if you want to build a PC right now, the 5060 Ti at this price point, if the other graphics cards are still in a horrible spot in terms of pricing, might be actually a good deal for your budget and needs. But let me know what you think. Thank you for watching, and I will see you on the next one.